Comfort Time with Aunty Yunike. If you're seeing me for the first time, I'm Aunty Yunike. You will not be sorry you stopped by. The story I'm sharing today is called Grace to See. This story I thought I should share because some of us may have experienced it and decided to pretend that we are not seeing. Please continue to like and share, and I'm reminding those who haven't yet subscribed to subscribe. So Grace to See is about being given the grace to see what's going on when everybody else is missing it or not getting it. I'm going to share a story that shows what I'm talking about. Having the grace to see when no one else is seeing is a very lonely place to be. It's a hard place to be. I can even say a cruel place to be. So the story I'm sharing is about my brother. When my brother died. I explained in my other video, Can Do No Wrong, how my brother was my soulmate. And in the video, I Can Do No Wrong, I was appreciating YouTube for allowing me to have discovered that a soulmate does not necessarily have to be someone you are romantically involved with. I discovered that a soulmate can be a sibling, a parent, a friend. It can be anybody. So now this is my brother that we lost. I'll show the link for Can Do No Wrong at the end of this video, so those who have time can tap into it and get the entire story. So now what happened was that my brother got sick. He lived in Ndola, which is about 4 hours away from Lusaka, but about an hour away from the hospital where we took him. This was in Chingola at the South Hospital. It was a fee-paying mine hospital. It was a very good hospital. So we took him there, and he was improving, but before we knew it, he took a turn for the worse, and then we lost him. So when we lost him, we now had to move back to his own hometown in Ndola for the funeral. So we went for the funeral, and everything was set up. Now we had to have family meetings about the burials and all the rest of it. And it was agreed that yes, we were going to bury in the next 3 days. But then my mother came up and said, my son is not being buried at the public burial site, but she wanted my brother buried at the farm where she lived. Everything was on course, everybody agreed. I had a very bad feeling about this. I was in the meeting. I couldn't say anything at the time because I knew that, I couldn't believe that everybody, the family members, my father, the elders were all agreeing to my brother being buried at the farm when that was going to destroy Mom. So I waited. At the end of the meeting, I went back and said, can I be allowed to talk? And so they said, yes, you are free, you can say whatever you have to say. After all, now that your elder brother is late, you are now the eldest. So what do you want to say? And I said, I am against my brother being buried at the farm. And everybody was like, no, you can't do that. Look how broken your mother is. And refusing her that will kill her. And I said, granting her that will kill her. Because my brother was my mom's favorite child. We all knew that, and we didn't have a problem with it. My brother doted on mom. He even went as far as building 2 houses for her, where she controlled the rentals because he didn't want her to ask anybody for money, despite the fact that she lived on a farm where she was doing very well and was making a lot of money. He just wanted mom to have everything, and that was what he did. So they were so close, and I knew that burying my brother at the farm was actually going to kill mom. Because I could foresee mom never leaving even in the house. Leaving the house early in the morning to go to the burial site, to cry, to sleep on the grave. And I knew she was hypertensive, so I knew that that would actually kill her. I said, you people, we can't do this. So everybody was like, no, mom. Dad took me aside and talked to me and told me, look, you can't do this. Just allow her that. You look at the way she is. I said, no, I'm trying to save mom. My brother was someone I was very close with, but now I had already lost him. And losing mom was going to be too much for me. So I said, no, this we cannot do. Everybody now looked at me as someone who was mean, as someone who was not understanding. I became the bad person in the family. And even outsiders were like, no, that daughter of hers from Lusaka has decided we can't bury the brother here. So eventually when mom was told, she called the meeting and she told everybody, if Yunike does not allow my son to be buried here, I want all of you to know that as soon as we bury my son, I'm leaving. I'm going back to the village. I'm not going to live at this farm. Let her take back her farm. So if it's her property she wants, she can have it. You can have your property. I'm leaving this farm. I'm never leaving here after we bury my son if you don't allow that. I just kept quiet. And we went ahead. At least she didn't dispute to me, having my say. So we went, we buried, and a few days later we had the traditional discussions. And since I lived away from Ndola, and she had to remain to dispatch so many other people from the village who were still going before she could start preparing her own trip, I was able to leave. So I left and came back to Lusaka, and she remained in Ndola, and she stopped talking to me. Even if I called, she would not pick my calls. She had nothing to do with me. She was so angry. She was that angry with me. I was very hurt, I was very lonely, I was very sad. I needed to know how she was doing, but I couldn't because she wouldn't pick my calls. And so it was a very lonely place to be, but I knew that I'd done the right thing. It was not easy, but it was the only thing that could save my mother. Eventually, I was able to travel back and ask her if we could go to the gravesite together to just clean the grave for my brother. And even if she wasn't saying much to me, she would agree for us to go together. And she didn't bring up the issue of she was leaving, so I didn't want to go there. So eventually, she got better and we started talking. And it was only a year later that she called me aside and told me, my baby, my daughter, you saved my life. She said, had we buried your brother at the farm, I doubt I would have been here. I wanted him here. I wanted him, even in death, I wanted to be with him. I don't think anyone would have stopped me from sleeping at the grave. So thank you for having the foresight and for insisting and being strong in not allowing that to have happened, because it's that saved me. The purpose of sharing this story is to show you that, sometimes it can be in a company. People want to cut corners. Maybe they want to take a bribe, and they're the only one who is seeing that doing this is going to mess us up, is going to mess the company up, and you can be the only one that makes everybody see that this is wrong. And of course, at the time when you are refusing, everybody's going to hate you. It's a difficult place to be, it's a lonely space to be, but when you know that this is the right thing, when you can see that this is going to put us in trouble and you are able to save the day, do not hesitate. Besides, that loneliness is just for a short time. After that, everybody, even those who are against you, will now appreciate you. So don't let that scare you, don't let that discourage you. Make sure that when something is right, it's right, you stick by it. With the way we are living now, a lot of people have managed to silence their conscience. Wrong things could be happening and they don't even get to hear the voice, the small voice saying, no, 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 don't do it. So if your voice is still loud and you can see the outcome of the situation you're in, please do not hesitate. Do not fear. It's just for a short time. Joy comes in the morning. Fortunately for me, my strength comes from within. When I find myself in an awkward place, in a lonely place, in a painful place, I go back within me and talk to my God. So everybody around me can hate me. I'm very good at being my own best friend. I talk to my God all the time, and that saves me. So you need to find a way of being able to stick to what you know is right. Sometimes you are the only one who has the grace to see what is coming in the future. Other people are only looking at today. So it's only you who has that grace to see that can save the day. I pray that this will make you stronger, will make you more focused, and will make you want to do the right thing, no matter how difficult, no matter how painful, because it's then that you can live with yourself if you're a righteous person. Thank you so much for watching. I pray that this helps you. See you in the next video.